Hi, my name is Alex Noland, and I'm wearing an MSCUM shirt. And if you look on Hickman's wall, right over there, you can see that he has a banner that also says MSCUM on it. You can tell because it's the same logo and the same color. But how do we see color? Young Helmholtz's Trichromatic theory, try saying that 5 times fast, was first proposed by Thomas Young back in 1802 and was finalized by a Hermann Helmholtz. He was German.
A brief history on Thomas Young. He was born in 1773 as the oldest of 10 siblings. Way to go, Mom. And he was able to learn Greek and Latin by 14. Congratulations. 1/3 of the languages you know are dead. Congrats. He was appointed as a philosophy professor, mainly for physics, at the Royal Institution in 1801, but he left in 1803 because he wanted to be a physician, so he left to go be a physician.
Mr. Young, congratulations on becoming a professor. Thank you, it's a great honor.
2 years later.
Happy 2 years, Mr. Young. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go be a physician now.
However, during his time as a professor at the Royal Institution, he gave a lecture about there being 3 color receptors in the eyes that could determine color. He had hypothesized that there is something in the eyes that allowed people to see color. The reason Jung had become so interested in color was because he was in the middle of studying sense perception and in turn astigmatism, which is like your eye focusing on stuff. He had used his new wave theory of light to explain colors. You see, in the eye, there are 3 things in there that can look at color. He had also theorized that the reason for color blindness is missing one of these receptors, which is actually true. Years later, Hermann von Helmholtz would soon take up the mantle of the color theory. In his youth, he studied philosophy and classical physiology, whatever that means. However, his father also made him study medicine, even though he didn't really want to. But that's not really important. What we really want to know is how exactly he expanded on Jung's color theory. And he did that in 1860, and he was able to confirm 3 color receptors, those being cones. The cones in the eye would detect color depending on the strength, the distance, and the wavelength of the light hitting the eye, and send those to the brain, and then the brain would figure out, oh, this is this color.
Hermann had also figured out that there was 3 different wavelengths. 1 short, 1 medium, and 1 long! And those 3 receptors of short, medium, long also coincided with the color, those being blue, green, red. Bottom line is, what this experiment found out was that colors can only be made up of the 3 primary colors, those being red, blue, and green. Just like a 3-in-1 shampoo. This is in 3-in-1. Not only did the wavelengths matter themselves, it also depended on the strength of the wavelengths that determined which color would be more prominent. The experiment where this was all figured out was done by the Hermann Helmholtz man himself, and he would have participants try to match a color using 3 different wavelengths. I don't really have any good color right now because we don't have good printer paper, but...
This is Alex in Post, and what I should have said was, we don't have any, colored printer paper.
Basically, what they would do was, they would probably put light onto a flashlight here, flash it against a wall, and try to compare it to a color that would be right next to it. So, this light right here, imagine we have a, let's say pink, because that's the best I got. So imagine we have pink right there, and they would attach different pieces of paper to the light to try to match it, and it would always work with just 3, never really so much with others. This is just a piece of junk, it doesn't work that well.
Helmholtz's experiment required using participants to use some color matching, where participants would alter the amount of 3 different wavelengths of light to match a test color. Helmholtz's results has determined that you can only make a color with 3 wavelengths. The experiment was overall pretty well conducted, probably. I don't know. There wasn't really so much information on the whole experiment part of it, no matter where I looked. But basically, the conclusion is that every single color can be made out of red, blue, and green with varying degrees of strength and wavelengths overall. And so that helped them to determine on how we as humans can see color.
Thank you all for coming with me on this trichromatic theory journey. The trichromatic theory, once again, was done by Thomas Young and Hermann von Helmholtz. And the main things that we need to remember today about trichromatic theory is that your eyes have 3 cones inside them with 3 different receptors. One for short lengths, which is blue. Another one for medium lengths, which is green. And the third one, long, is for red. Same color as my shirt. Color is also determined by the strength of the cells that get signaled into your eyes and to help your brain determine and interpret the color in the environment. And again, people with normal vision, those who aren't colorblind, sorry if you're colorblind, you would need all 3 wavelengths in order to make a complete color.
Actually, this is a huge conglomeration of colors.